Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Friday, January the 12th. We've got 10 games tonight, so it's a relatively big slate for a Friday. Wanted to come on, give you guys some early props I did like for this slate. Right now, taking a first look at the board on Thursday night, I found 3 props that I did like for tonight's slate. So we're going to talk through each one of these 3 plays and share why I like them. Before we do get started though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I do want to shout out Sleeper because we have a partnership with Sleeper as well. If you guys don't have an account on Sleeper, you can sign up for Sleeper, use promo code NOAH over there, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. Now, if you don't know what Sleeper is, they are an app similar to Prizepicks, and they're similar to a lot of the DFS apps you see around the industry, the DFS pick'em apps. It's very simple. You're picking more or less on player props, player projections, but on Sleeper, you are able to win up to 100x your money. You can make up to an 8-pick entry over on Sleeper. So if you like to build like those lotto type tickets where you put a little bit of money down for a chance to win some big money, you can do that over on Sleeper. If you guys want to check them out, make sure to sign up. And again, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Sleeper, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. But yeah, guys, we got 3 props to talk about for Friday's NBA slate. I do want to recap our 2 plays that we gave out from Thursday's video before we talk through today's plays. So for Thursday, gave out 2 picks. We hit one of our 2 picks, but one of them did miss. We did hit the over on Isaiah Hartenstein's PRA prop at 22.5. Hartenstein had a relatively good game. He did get into some foul trouble early in the third quarter, but I think he wound up finishing with like 8 points, 14 rebounds, I want to say, and then I think he had 3 assists as well. So he went over his PRA prop, was a little bit sweaty, but then we took the over on Kevin Durant's points prop. And literally everyone from the Suns was scoring at will tonight except for Kevin Durant. Devin Booker had over 30 points. Bradley Beal had almost 30 points. Kevin Durant had 16 points. He was playing. I was watching some of the game and man, he was just playing so passive. The Lakers were kind of trapping him a lot. Like when he got the ball, there was 2 guys coming at him. He had to pass out a lot. I think he only shot the ball like 12 times, which is pretty low for Kevin Durant. He's typically a player that shoots the ball 15, 20 times a game. So that was obviously annoying, man. I was hoping KD would come through for us and we would finally get back on track, but it was another frustrating day Thursday. Let's see if we can get back on track here for Friday's slate. 3 props, guys, I do like for Friday. So let's talk through them. The first prop that I do like, we got 2 props that I like from this Hawks and Pacers game. And we're going to first take a look at Jalen Johnson's PRA prop of 29.5. And I like the over here for Jalen Johnson. So I actually remember, I want to say it was like, it was like a week ago. These teams played like a week ago, and I took the over on Jalen Johnson's PRA prop that day. I think the line was at 28.5 that day, I'm pretty sure. And he did go under just because the game was a massive blowout. If you look at that Pacers-Hawks game on January 5th, where Jalen Johnson only had 23 PRA, he only played 29 minutes in that game because the Hawks lost by like 40 or something. I mean, it was just a complete outlier. The final score to that game was 116 to 150. The Hawks lost by 34 points, and none of their starters played like any meaningful minutes. Assuming we don't get a random blowout tonight, we should see Jalen Johnson play really big minutes. He has been playing really big minutes as of late. I mean, if you look at these 5 games, if you look at the games that weren't blowouts, so against Washington, Jalen Johnson played 36.5 minutes. Against OKC, he only played 29 minutes. He was limited by foul trouble, but he still was really good in that game. Pacers game was a massive blowout, only played 29 minutes. This game against Orlando, it was a tougher matchup, but Jalen Johnson played 40 minutes against Orlando. And then last game against the Sixers, it did go to overtime. But even at the end of regulation, Jalen Johnson had played 36 minutes. He wound up playing 41 minutes because of the overtime period. But the minutes have been massive for Jalen Johnson lately. The role has been really good as well. He has been doing everything when he's been on the floor. Like if you just look at his recent games, over his last like 5 or 6 games, 16 points, 24 points, 28 points, 12, 12, and 25 points. So not only has he been scoring a ton, he's also been grabbing a ton of rebounds lately. 15, 13, 7, 8, 11, and 16 rebounds. And then he's been able to get some assists too. He's had at least 3 assists now in what is, I believe, 7 straight games. Yeah, 7 straight games he's had at least 3 assists. So Jalen Johnson has been contributing in all categories lately. The usage has been really solid for him. Like, he's still been able to get some shots up. I mean, if you look at his shot attempts just over his last 5 games, 13, 12, 11, 18, 12. Like, he's been shooting the ball 10, 11, 12 times per game. He's been able to get to the free throw line some as well, which you like to see. Had 6 free throw attempts last game. And this matchup is about as good as it gets for Jalen Johnson facing the Pacers. The Pacers have been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season. They have the 5th worst defensive rating this year. The Pacers do play at the fastest pace in the league. They are without Tyrese Halliburton right now, but even if you look at their last game, their pace was still really high last game. They still had the 2nd highest pace of all the games being played, looking at their last game. So even without Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers were still playing really fast. Their defense should still be really bad. This matchup is fantastic. This game environment is fantastic. Right now, this Hawks-Pacers game, it has the highest total on the slate, 252.5 total here. So, even without Halliburton, the books are expecting this game to still be very high scoring. The spread is only 5.5, so this should be a competitive game. And if we're going to get 35, 36 minutes from Jalen Johnson in a great matchup here against the Pacers in what should be a super fast-paced, high-scoring game, I like his chances of putting up, at least 30 PRA. For what it's worth, the Pacers this season, they're giving up the most points per game to power forwards and the 4th most rebounds to the power forward position. So not only is the overall matchup great, it's a good DVP matchup too, because the Pacers have struggled against power forwards. It feels like all the boxes are checked here for Jalen Johnson, which means something's probably going to go wrong, knowing my luck lately. Either this game will blow out or he'll get in foul trouble or something. But if this game does stay close, I do like the over on 29.5 PRA quite a bit today for Jalen Johnson. So that'll be our first play for today. Next play I like on the other side of that game, we're going to look at Bruce Brown's PRA, 20.5. Also like the over here for Bruce Brown. So want to highlight Bruce Brown's last game against Washington because that was without Tyrese Halliburton. And if you look at Bruce Brown this season, when he's played without Halliburton, he has been like the biggest beneficiary just in terms of a usage perspective, in terms of an increase in role. This season with Halliburton off the floor, the guy that sees the biggest bump in usage has been Bruce Brown. His usage rate goes up nearly 4%, and his scoring has gone up. His rebounding has still been solid. His assist numbers have still been solid. In the minutes he's played without Halliburton on the floor this season, Bruce Brown's averaging 18.5 points, nearly 5 rebounds, and over 4 assists per 36. Now, do we expect Bruce Brown to play 36 minutes tonight? Probably not. Most nights I would expect Bruce Brown to play 28, 30 minutes. Last game against Washington, he played 28 minutes, which if you give me 28 minutes from Bruce Brown without Tyrese Halliburton against the Hawks in a great matchup, in a great game environment, I like my chances of getting 21 PRA from him. I mean, last game, Bruce Brown had 16 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He's another one of these players, kind of similar to Jalen Johnson. He can contribute in all categories. He can score, he can rebound, he can get assists. The assist numbers should definitely be up. Without Halliburton now, he's going to have the opportunity to handle the ball more. There's going to be plenty of rebound chances in this game because this game's going to be so fast-paced. There's going to be so many shot attempts, so there's going to be plenty of rebound opportunities. And then from a scoring perspective, given he's seen the biggest bump in usage this season with Halliburton off the floor, you do expect Bruce Brown to get a bump in his scoring here. And I think last game, if you look at his game last game, he had 11 shot attempts. He shot he had a decent amount of volume. And just over his last 3 games without Tyrese Halliburton, Bruce Brown has had 16, 14, and 11 shot attempts. In those games, he's had 36 PRA, 24 PRA, and then last game, he had 31 PRA. Now, there was one game this season without Tyrese Halliburton where Bruce Brown did only play 21 minutes, had 3 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist against the Celtics. But that game was a massive, massive blowout. I think the Celtics won that game by over 40 points. So that's a complete outlier. The last 3 games, though, for Bruce Brown that he's played without Halliburton that have been competitive, he has gone over this PRA line in all 3 of those games. So like this play quite a bit, and looking at some sportsbook odds, early sportsbook odds are favoring the over on this play, especially Pinnacle. Pinnacle is one of the sharpest sportsbooks. I think they're the sharpest sportsbook out there. They have this line favored minus 140 to go over. So I would not be surprised if you do see this PRA line get bumped for Bruce Brown. Hopefully you'll all be able to get it in at 20.5 if it doesn't get bumped. But that's the second play I like for tonight. And then third and final play we're going to talk about. We're going to look at an assist prop. We're going to be looking at an under here. Chris Dunn, 5.5 assists. Give me the under on 5.5 assists for Chris Dunn. Now, Chris Dunn has been starting lately for the Jazz, but that hasn't really resulted in him having a really big role. I mean, if you look at his minutes lately, Chris Dunn, even though he does start, he's only going to play like 25 minutes tops. Just over their last 5 games, he's played 26, 24, 23, 26, and 16 minutes. He did have that random game against the Bucks where he had 13 assists. I'm pretty sure that was a game where the Jazz put up like 100. Yeah, they put up 132 points. This Jazz team, they do play fast, so they can put up points. They have been playing a lot better lately as a team. But this Jazz team, they run a very deep rotation. They're going to play 10, 11 guys off their bench, and they're going to give their bench guys, like almost everyone off the Jazz bench is going to play at least 15, if not 20 minutes. So I don't think we're going to see more than like 24, 25 minutes from Chris Dunn here. If you look at the games he has started this season, he's only played more than 20, or he's only played more than 27 minutes in 2 games. Like there's only been 2 games as a starter this season where Chris Dunn has played over 30 minutes. He did have a lot of assists in those games, 13 and 10. But even over his last few games, 26 minutes, 24, 23, and he did have that game against Milwaukee where he had 13 assists. But other than that, 3 against Denver, 1 against Philly, 5 against Boston, 4 against Detroit. He did have 7 assists in 21 minutes against Dallas. He had 6 in only 18 minutes against Miami. But then he just had 3 against the Pelicans. Earlier this season, when he started, he only had 3 against Sacramento in 27 minutes. So, not only is the role not really, super secure here for Chris Dunn, the minutes are definitely not secure. Like, they have plenty of guys that they could play over Chris Dunn. Like, they could play Jordan Clarkson over Chris Dunn. They could play, Agbaji maybe if they wanted to. They could play Colin Sexton. I mean, Colin Sexton's going to start and get minutes regardless. But, like, Jordan Clarkson's been coming off the bench lately. He might close this game over Chris Dunn. Clarkson's been playing a lot of minutes. So, I like this under quite a bit for Chris Dunn. Even if you look at this season, if you look at like his potential assist, I mean, he was coming off the bench to start the season, so it's really hard to look at his full season stats. But for the full season, Chris Dunn is only averaging 7 potential assists per game. Now, again, you have to look more at a recent sample because at the beginning of the season, Chris Dunn was coming off the bench. He wasn't really playing much. As a starter lately, though, like over their last 5 games, over this 5-game stretch, he's still only averaging 8.4 potential assists per game, which is not super high. Like, on average, a player is going to convert about half of their potential assists to actual assists. So on average, if Chris Dunn gets like 12 potential assists, he'll typically have about 6 assists. But he's only been averaging 8.4 potential assists over his last 5 games. I think more times than not, Chris Dunn comes out of here with less than 6 assists. Maybe he'll have a random game like he did against Milwaukee where he just racks up a ton of assists, but I would bet against that happening. I do like the under here for Chris Dunn. I think there's plenty of outs for this for this under to cash, whether it be the minutes just aren't there, the Jazz elect to play someone else off the bench. Again, there's just so many ways for Chris Dunn to lose minutes in this Jazz rotation. So give me less than 5.5 assists for Chris Dunn as our third and final play for today. So these are 3 early props, guys, that I'm liking for Friday's 10-game NBA slate. Jalen Johnson, more than 29.5 PRA. Bruce Brown, more than 20.5 PRA. And Chris Dunn, less than 5.5 assists. If you guys are going to tail on these 3 plays, hopefully all 3 of these plays can hit. You can choose how you want to play these. If you do want to run them as a 3-pick power play, I typically don't play 3-pick entries on Prizepicks because the payout is not great compared to what you can get from other sites. But if you want to play these as a 3-pick, you can do a power play. All 3 plays have to hit in order to win, but you would get 5 extra money. For a flex play, those usually, the payouts for those aren't great, but if you do get a pick wrong when you do a flex play, you still get 1.25x, so you get a little bit of profit. But what I would recommend is that if you want to tail these 3 plays, that you come up with a couple of plays that you like and then add those to these, make like a 5-pick or a 6-pick entry, because 5-pick and 6-pick entries are typically the best entries types to play on Prizepicks. There's math out there that proves that those are the best to play. But it's up to you how you want to use these 3 picks. But I did want to give you guys some early props that I did like for this slate. So appreciate you guys watching the video. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Good luck on this Friday night slate. Enjoy your Friday night, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys in the next video.